If you're a lineman in charge of keeping the lights on, Granger understands that you go to great lengths and sometimes heights to ensure the power is always flowing, which is why you can count on Granger for professional-grade products and next-day delivery, so you have everything you need to get the job done. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey everyone, how's everything? So I wasn't able to post an episode last week, and this isn't really a full LilWeird episode. Think of it more like me opening my journal and letting you peek inside. Just a little catch up, some reflections, and maybe a glimpse into a new thing I've been quietly working on. Here's the thing, I usually hate rambling. I always prefer sharing things like my episodes polished or at least seemingly polished. And I don't like wasting bandwidth, But recently, I realized that sometimes rambling makes us more human. It's not always bad, so here I am, rambling at this time. But don't worry, I'll keep it short. So before I dive into updates, I just want to reflect a little on one of my past episodes, particularly the ancient skies and the journey into Philippine ethnoastronomy. I'm still fascinated, honestly, knowing that our ancestors once looked at the same skies we do and built entire systems of knowledge around them. It feels like uncovering a treasure that was buried underneath for so long. These ancient ways of seeing the world remind me that wisdom doesn't always disappear. Sometimes it just waits for us to look up again. If you haven't listened to those episodes yet, you can go back to episodes 19 and 20, The Cosmic Compass, Ancient Wisdom of the Stars, and Philippine Star Lore, Ancient Skies and Forgotten Constellations. The first one explores the broader worldview of the cosmos, while the second dives into local perspectives, our very own Philippine ethnoastronomy. Okay, so going back to my episode on ancient skies and Philippine ethnoastronomy, I believe maybe it sparked something in me. The episode actually became the seed for another creative project I've been tinkering with lately, an interactive novel. I haven't talked much about it yet, but here's the low-key version. It all started with a random idea about an old sky map and the disappearance of an archivist, and this coastal town where whispers of a place called The Crossing still linger. That single thought snowballed into world-building mysteries and something that feels like a mix between story and experience. Looking back, it kind of makes sense. The very first thing I enjoyed growing up was to write stories. I would just take any little inspiration, something I saw or something I felt, and then just spin it into a world. Writing has always been an escape for me, and world building has always been my thing. Whether it was scribbling stories on paper, playing The Sims, or now shaping something bigger through LilWeird. I even remembered how much I love playing mystery case games like the Mystery Case Files way back then. Maybe that's why this project feels so nostalgic, and as I explored it further, I stumbled upon the world of ARGs, or alternate reality games, which is actually fascinating because it connects so well with my studies in multimedia arts. It shows how storytelling isn't just stuck in books or screens. It can spill into real life, mix the digital with the physical, and become an experience you live through. Isn't it funny how our experiences evolve over time? My interactive novel is nothing fancy or high-tech. You don't need a complex setup to play it. You can even go offline. Most of the items in the dossier can be downloaded except for a few hidden parts. And wow, did I struggle putting it together. There were moments I thought, I can't lose my grip on this or I'll drop it and forget all about it. World building, even when it isn't that complex, it still takes so much effort. But you know what? In the end, I enjoyed it deeply. It felt like coming home. Coming home to the part of me that always loved writing stories, building worlds, and just letting imagination take over. So, I let it absorb me. I allowed myself to flow through the ebbs and tides of creative work. And I think that's what this whole project is for me. It's less about being perfect and more about remembering how it feels to create for the sheer love of it. So, since you've been patient enough to listen to me ramble, here's a little sneak peek into K001, The Crossing. It begins with Mirasol Galang, a once brilliant historian turned weary journalist who stumbles upon an old article about a student who vanished at sea. Drawn to the whispers of a lighthouse in the town of Playa de Luna, she finds herself in a place where the line between myth and history blurs. The lighthouse blinks when it shouldn't. Bells toll where no bells exist. Old sky maps hint at constellations' names erased from memory. And as she digs deeper, the past she thought she'd buried begins to resurface. The story unfolds like a forgotten dossier, simple, tactile, and almost too real. And at its center lies the question: when the skies begin to signal, will you dare to cross? Okay, so honestly, I have to confess, I haven't written for so long, and just like any skill, when it's not practiced, it gets a little dull around the edges. I feel guilty about that sometimes. My writing feels clumsy and unrefined. That's why I've been nervously asking a few of my bookworm friends to give me feedback. I wanted to keep the mystery simple but still true to its form, with references that make sense. It's my first time creating something like this, so I told myself just keep it simple but don't compromise the experience. So that's where my head and heart have been lately, bridging the old knowledge of the skies, my love for storytelling, and this playful, evolving world of interactive narratives. I'll share more as this little creative experiment unfolds. But for now, it's just been fun to connect the dots between past inspirations and what I'm working on today. Well, thanks for hanging out in this little journal entry of an episode. If you enjoyed this catch up or if you're curious about the crossing, just let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And until next time, this is LilWeird Podcast. I'm your host, Jane, and stay curious and keep your wonder close. Thanks for listening.
Lowe's knows that no matter your paint project, saving is at the top of your list. That's why when you shop today, you can buy one, get one free. Select Valspar and HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams. One coat coverage interior paints via rebate. Shop these deals in-store or online today at Lowe's. We help, you save. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Offer valid 8/21 through 9/3. This Labor Day at Lowe's, shop member-only doorbuster deals for a limited time. Save $50 on an Ego string trimmer, now $169. Plus, get 50% off select Holland pavers. Not a rewards member? Sign up for free today. But hurry, Labor Day doorbuster deals won't last long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 9/1 while supplies last. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.